We're going to look at Texas, Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, and I think this is going to be a heck of a game. Texas has so much talent on that team. Sarkisian has done a great job of recruiting. They've got plenty of money in the NIL down in Texas, and so they've done an amazing job. They had a great year. Ohio State seems destined. Now, did they have problems in that loss against Michigan where people were actually calling for the head of Ryan Day? I think that's, first of all, ridiculous. I know he's got to beat Michigan at some point, and that's been a struggle for him. But this guy's a damn good coach. He's a great recruiter. He gets the players, John, and Ohio State is probably, arguably, and we'll find out pretty soon, but one of the best teams that I've seen play in a really long time. They've got an incredible receiver, the height, the weight, the size, all the things that go along with it. His hands are incredible. They've got some guys in the secondary that are, again, like they always do, they just reload. By the way, they reload now. They've been doing a great job. Obviously, NIL money doesn't hurt, but with quarterbacks, they had the transfer quarterback from Kansas State, comes to Ohio State, has a hell of a year. I think Ohio State's got him. I really do. Now, that Michigan game, what people forget is that's a rivalry. You throw the records out, and that's all I can say about it is when you line up against Michigan, even though it might be a bad team this year, relatively speaking, you know what? It's still that rivalry, right? I mean, they got up for the game, and Michigan made it happen. And they forced Ohio State into a lot of bad positions. Ohio State had to punt multiple times in the second half. They had a missed field goal. They had interceptions. They ran out the clock. Unfortunately, they had 4 plays and were out, had to give the ball back at the end of the game. There's a lot of reasons why in the second half, Ohio State should have done better, but they didn't. And I think that the reason is the rivalry. Guys elevate to the next level in those games. And we see it happen all the time. Cal, Stanford, Minnesota, Iowa, whatever it is, it's Nebraska, Oklahoma. The better team doesn't always win. And I think Ohio State was the better team. Ohio State's pretty unbelievable. I think Ohio State might take apart Texas.
Well, Matthew McConaughey is not going to like hearing it, Pete. So sorry, Matthew. And if you want to bet, I'll do this. We'll go on your podcast, Matthew. If Texas beats Ohio State, you come on ours. If Ohio State beats Texas, how about that? This guy, Jeremiah Smith, Pete, he lit Oregon up like nobody has lit Oregon defensive backs up. And I think Quinn Ewers is great. Who knows? He might not even be there next year, Pete. He'll be in college. Right. He allegedly will stay in college because he'll make more as a college player than he will turning pro. That's just the, salary cap of rookies. Yeah. It's a rough thing for rookies. So why not make the money? Does he go to, could he go to Ohio State, Pete? Could he go to Michigan or wherever? Sure, he could, and make a lot of money. And then you've only got Manning down there in Texas. But what I'll say, Pete, is Jeremiah Smith could be your Heisman Award winner next year. If he plays like he's played as a freshman, as a sophomore, I think this guy could be your Heisman next year. Nobody can stop him so far. And like I said, nobody has done to Oregon what he and Will Howard did to Oregon just a week ago.
Yeah, they tore him apart. They absolutely ripped him apart, and it was not even close, and it was a dominating thing. Last thing I'll say about all this stuff, John, congratulations to North Dakota State. FCS football. It was great. I watched that game the other day. There's a quarterback, Cam Miller, at North Dakota State. And by the way, Trey Lance's brother, who's a wide receiver, who is an absolute freak show athlete, just like Trey Lance. Those are 2 guys. One of them, I think, is coming out. I think Cam Miller graduates this year. The guy was 86% completions in the national championship game, John. Talk about a baller. The guy also ran for 121 yards. He's a dual threat guy. He'll be in the NFL. He'll be on somebody's roster. And it's just impressive what North Dakota State and South Dakota State and Montana State, what they do each and every year in the FCS. They are all dominating programs, and it's so cool to watch just how good these guys are. I watched that game the other night. it was absolutely phenomenal. By the end, Montana State came all the way up and they damn near got the game. But congratulations to North Dakota State. They were leading in a big way in the first half, and they held on for the national title.